Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? Welcome back to another of these Right With Me's. How are you all doing? I've just put the event live on Discord, so hopefully people there will see it. Corey's not here to take my mic today, so if anyone wants to just let me know if they can hear me, that'd be greatly appreciated. Um, but yeah, excuse. I'm totally not tired. Um, okay, yes. So today's image up here is of Red in the Pack. It's the first time that Bale sees our Red. So that's going to be. I'm looking forward to writing it. I think it's going to be a encounter that is well. I mean, if you've seen the Prep with Me streams, it doesn't necessarily go around in the best way. So yeah, let me share my screen. Um, oh, amazing! Thank you for letting me know, Jeanette. That makes things a lot easier. Be awkward if I'd just been like talking to myself for 3 minutes. Right. So yeah. So this scene is Bale and Red meeting for the first time. Red's objective is to find out what the humans are up to at the mines. Bale wants to know what's going on. Um, there is a language barrier between them, as well as cultural differences. So I think what I'm going to do is with my dictation, start off kind of doing like a super detailed summary that kind of a super detailed summary that goes through everything, and then I can start making my prose from that. So it's going to be like pseudo prose, pseudo summary. Yeah. Hopefully, I warm up through the session because I am very cold right now. I get a feeling I will be complaining about this for the entire month. Okay, so let's get started. His face felt like it was on fire. Eyes swollen, blood rushing. He Bale lifted his arm, shielding his sight from the torchlight that seemed too close. He tried to sit up, but something lay on his shoulder. A blunt stick, perhaps, holding him down. Bale blinked, opening his eyes. His vision was blurry. forest not immediately coming into focus, he could hear before he could see some kind of heavy breathing. Eric. He blinked and blinked again. He pushed the moisture from under his eyes. There was something standing above him. Unblinking eyes. Powerful legs. Pointed ears. Wait. Bale tried to scramble back, but the leg on his shoulder held firm. He opened his mouth to scream, to shout, but the words caught in his throat as the wolf that held him bared its teeth, grinning. I, uh, uh, nice doggy? His voice went up several octaves. The wolf cocked its head as if it could understand him. He put his paw down firmer, then retreated, watching. Bale struggled to think, his mind unable to catch up with what he was seeing. Instinct warred within him, demanding that he turn and flee, that he try and outrun the wolf, that he move, grab a weapon, do anything. He looked down at his belt, but the dagger was gone. Why was the dagger gone? Why did the wolf take it? Why would a wolf take it? He turned slowly, taking in the threat, and thanked the Lord Almighty that he hadn't moved to run, to attack. There, in a circle, surrounding him, blocking off any hope of escape, were 7 large wolves. All different colours. They didn't look like any wolf he had seen before. They were larger, more muscular. There was something eerie about the way they communicated, shuffles and snorts that seemed to convey message. Did wolves have languages? Oh, okay. That is the first little bit. Now I can right, let's start doing my dictation prompt to clean up. I seem to have been doing a bit more. Like, I always find that it depends on what mood I'm in and whether I end up like doing more summary or prose. Seems to be a bit more prosy at the moment, so I'm gonna roll with that. And so use that. I mean, I don't know why it's put the dagger. But again, it's just stuff. It's really easy to fix. So beside him, Poseidon. Beside him, Eric lay, a deep welt on his forehead where something had collided into it. The blood had already dried up. But it looked reasonably fresh. How long had he been there? How long had he been caught in this? Caught in this. Bale scooted to a sitting position, raising his knees, trying to protect his vital organs. The wolves weren't making any move towards him. But they seemed on full alert, as if they were all too aware of the danger that a human could bring to them. Bale. Hello. He ventured, hoping that something would connect with these creatures, that there was a reason that he had not already been devoured. Um, um, my name is, Bale. Bale? A human voice. A female voice. Bale whipped around, looking for the source of it, trying to stay as non-threatening as possible. There, just outside the circle of wolves, a brown wolf by her side crouched. A woman in a deep red cloak. It reminded Bale a little of the one the religious lady earlier that day had worn, but the girl inside it couldn't be any different. She sat on her haunches, hands on the ground before her. She sat on her haunches, hands on the ground in front of her. The cloak and long, raggedy auburn hair pooled over her head and body, obscuring anything from sight. But what he could see, face, arms, feet, they were all streaked with dirt. Lines across them as if she had tried to wash the limbs, but only succeeded in smearing the dirt. Her teeth, surprisingly neat things, were bared at him, and something made him pause as he saw her expression. It was there, but not quite right, as if she wasn't sure how to position her features. There was no one emotion amongst them. Her brow was furrowed, her teeth were bared, but in her eyes, Bale could only see hatred. Yes, Bale. He extended a hand. She cocked her head, looking at it, frowning. He brought it back to his body quickly. What is your name? She didn't answer immediately, seeming to mull over his answer. She looked at one of the wolves to her left, the largest of them, and a strange noise came from her lips, not quite a whine or a growl, but something in between. The wolf beside the girl nudged her. And the girl nudged it back. Red Storm. Bloop. Oh, I wonder if my tea is drink. Okay, it's going well. 700 words already in 20 minutes. I am not going to complain. Right, okay. Time to clean this up, though. Are any of you writing while I'm doing this, or are you just like listening while doing other things, or what? Ugh, right. Red Storm. That's I uh uh I've never heard a name quite like that. He was at a loss at what to say, how to bridge the gap with this woman. It was becoming painfully clear that she had familiarity with them, but they certainly weren't following her commands. Was she following theirs? Was she under a spell, or fear. He'd never considered magic real before, but how else could you explain this oddity? Pack mother name. She seemed proud. Bale thought he could recognize that emotion, even through how scratchy her voice was. That's nice. The wolf to her left, the one she'd seemed to communicate with, snapped its teeth, jerking its head towards Bale. Bale shuffled back, colliding into Eric. He noticed the snoring had stopped, and yet Eric stayed still, pretending to be asleep. The coward. Then again, sleep was preferable to staring down your death. Perhaps cleverness and cowardliness could be on the same side of the coin. What do? The girl pointed in the direction of the mine, jabbing her hand at it as if she could destroy it from the simple motion. Her gaze didn't once leave him, even as she inched closer on all fours. Her eyes darted up and down, assessing him. We're mining, digging in the ground. looking for something. Um, Search? He tried to mime the action, unsure if she could understand what he was saying. She snorted, teeth parting as she ran her tongue over them. It lolled out slightly as she regarded him, and Bale wondered how long this woman had been with the pack. Okay. I always wonder how it does with like conversation. I lost what to say, how to bridge the gap with this woman. And because this is GPT-4 mini, I don't mind redoing it. I know your words. She neared again. Prowling. That was the closest word he could find to explain her movements. It was as if she were prowling towards prey. Bale found he didn't like the idea of being prey. He held up a hand, trying to indicate peace, praying that she understood what that was too. Why Here, our territory. That's not my choice, he hastened to reassure her. I don't choose where we dig. Sir Roderick went here. He found something, he said, and look, most of us are just poor and we're looking for food. Food, you understand that? And I swear he was so focused on trying to explain himself that Bale didn't realize Eric had moved until it was too late, until his hands were on the girl. He realized instantly that that was a bad idea. The wolves weren't in a circle just to stop them from leaving. But when the man's back was turned, a grey wolf lunged, leaping over Bale as he landed on the man's back, using the momentum to pull Eric off this red storm. He was already bleeding. From his neck, a torrent of blood oozed out, pouring onto the ground and the wolf. Bale looked back at the girl. Her face was covered in it. Trickles of blood running down her face where the mud had left trails. She opened her mouth, baring her teeth, and they too were stained in red. Bale rolled over, heaving. Blood, blood. Oh, Lord above. He was going to die. They were just playing with him. They were going to eat him. A snap. And he jerked up, spittle falling down his chin. The screaming had stopped. Eric lay limp on the ground, his neck at an unnatural angle. That wasn't how wolves fought, was it? The girl was still staring at him. The attack had barely distracted her. And she took a step towards him. Our territory. Bale nodded. Bale nodded frantically. You tell them our territory. We reclaim. Her gaze flicked to Eric. The lack of fear or remorse. Terrifying. Bloop. Okay, right. Oh, stretch. Have a little break from thinking about things and stuff. Also, a few more people on. Hello, how are you doing? Just clearing up some of my dictation now. It's a very stilted. Mm. Okay, right. So yeah, so far, for any of you who've, I've been writing the first meeting where at the end of the last chapter, Bale was knocked out by Red as he was searching for Eric, who had collapsed drunk in the forest. And the wolves are trying to question Bale, but obviously there is the little bit of a language barrier. So yeah, I'm trying to get that kind of in. think I'm going to get rid of that for now. I think the necklace can come back later. Run. What? Run. Prove not prey. Or hunter. And you live. Doesn't prey run? Predators run. Predators run when the Mother Nature deals a bad hand. She gnashed her teeth. Behind her, the wolves parted, giving him a free path to the camp. Tell them. Ours. Bill forwent all manners. Everything in Bale forgot all manners, all lessons his mama had taught him, and he bolted to his feet, scrambling as quickly as he could. He didn't waste time searching for his belt or the torch or anything that these strange wolves might have taken from him. He had no time. He needed to go. He needed to keep moving. There were tactics. He was sure there could be something he should do to avoid them, to not hear the bounding of paws against sticks and leaves. But for the life of him, he couldn't think of anything. Even if he were to zigzag like one would when avoiding ranged attacks, that wouldn't help him here. They could smell him. They could know where he was going. He couldn't try to sneak, lose them. They would hear him wherever he went. They would smell him before he had a chance to hide. There were no rivers between himself and camp. The only one ran too far to the side to be of any use. He could climb a tree. Perhaps he could go up a tree. Only that would take time. He glanced to the side. A dark brown wolf was running in pace, hardly seeming out of breath. If anything, it seemed to be having fun. He skidded to a halt. There before him, two more wolves. He turned right, the only free direction, and ran, weaving in and out between trees, under branches, over fallen logs. It was only a matter of time before he fell. Maybe he halted for a moment, trying to get his bearings. Where was the felled road? That was this direction, right? If he got there, maybe the wolves would stay away. Maybe the threat of discovery would be enough. He listened. All around there were sounds. Nothing peaceful like they had been earlier when he was playing his lute, but all of them felt natural, felt expected. Maybe they, in his periphery, he could see the grey wolf again. Ignoring the protest from his heaving lungs, his burning muscles, Bale stumbled through the trees. Even predators run. Even predators run. That was scant consolation given how close these creatures were getting. He was no predator. He was barely even acknowledged at camp. How was he going to tell them about this threat? Would they even believe that a wild animal had killed Eric? Would they even care? Would they even look for him? Finally, finally ahead, a break in the trees. Bale staggered over, footsteps uneven, heavy, gasping for breath. Pop. I had a friend who was listening to the restream of this and she fell asleep during the middle and I was and started dreaming of wolves. So I'm proud. I can send people to sleep with my voice. Where am I up to? Ah. I could technically do the entire thing as a like with the prompt. Um but sometimes Like when I need to like go back and check that I know what I'm trying to say. Bum 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 Dobrom wróżko. And I need to correct Eric again. He didn't stop. He didn't stop. He couldn't afford to. He needed to keep moving forward. Even if they got him, he heaved again. He needed to know that he had tried, that he hadn't given up, that he had done everything in his power to get back, to get home, to return to his parents and sisters. Even if they wouldn't believe him, even if no one knew what he saw. A howl, low, skimming through the trees. Bale jumped, closing in on himself. But then he realized that it wasn't near him. There were no wolves. He looked up. An orange glow, the campfire. Oh, thank the Lord, the campfire. He had never been so happy to see it. He could practically kiss the ground. As he stepped into the clearing, Bale fell to his knees, unable to move a step further. The camp was dead at night, everyone asleep, even Matty gone. But Bale barely had the energy to make his way to the tent. He curled up on his side, trying to catch his breath. His hand hit something metal. He picked it up, a small chunk of rock, of the ore that they were mining. had it fallen out of the cart? As soon as he had the breath to keep going, Bale crawled forwards. There, another piece. These weren't here the day before. He was certain of it. Why had they... He followed the trail all the way to the mountainside, to the mouth of the cave, and then it continued from the other side, going around a perfect circle. What kind of witchcraft was this? He'd only ever heard of protective circles or salt or something from old wives' tales. Things that got women sent to their deaths. He turned back to the forest, glancing at it one last time. In the distance, he saw what looked to be a cloaked figure. Barely visible from the firelight. Actually, yep, that feels like a good place to stop with that. Okay. Hiccup. Oops. Okay, I'm back. Sorry if I flicked out then for a moment. Okay, yeah, no, I'm happy with that. I feel like that's a productive writing session. I've got 2,100 words for this chapter. So I have 6 of the 12 chapters of this first episode sorted now. So it's 13,000 words so far. There are something, if you were attentive and were looking at the notes that I had, there was a bit where he actually talked to the miners about it. But I think perhaps Bale just doesn't tell them. I think he would be more more about that. I think he would definitely not want to risk the confrontation, and he would just instead stay in the pack, or like in the camp. So yeah, I think that works. And like this circle was something that I came up with on the spot, but it makes sense that they would use the Wolfright to ward against any shifters so that they could continue their operations. So that means Red will then need to get the break the circle first somehow. So that will be another complication for the episode. So I'm happy with that. Okay. Does anyone have any questions before I go, I guess? About Novelcrafter, anything, the writing? Yeah, just let me know. If not, I will head off here. Have a nice little picture of Red and her pack. I really like the picture. But yeah, thank you very much for coming. I will see you tomorrow at the same time where we will be working on Red's first interaction with lots of humans that aren't Bale and aren't with the backing of her pack. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.